Welcome to Junkies from Cities.
Alright, so welcome to Drug Conspiracies. My special guest today is Sabrina.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself.
About myself. I'm your wife.
Beautiful wife, who I love.
Aw. Well, a wife nonetheless. And, just killing it. Balling. Shot calling.
Naturally. That is our son on the intro you hear. So he was very excited to do that with me.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was able to put him in to the show somehow. And I think it worked out really well.
I think it did. He really had a lot of fun with that.
He did have a lot of fun, and I love it. So today's episode is about Marilyn Monroe.
Dun dun dun.
Did she commit suicide or was she murdered? That's a conspiracy. So
Yeah, her being murdered is a conspiracy. Yeah.
I know the answer. Like, I know what happened.
Like, factually, you were
Facts.
there.
Facts. Straight facts.
There's a lot of things that I feel like kind of agree with the rhetoric of, like, oh, she overdosed or whatever, but at the same time, we do have to think about, like, her connections, I think. Like, why this is so suspicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get started, I like to go over what our guests are drinking.
Of course.
Get into it. So,
Yes.
what are you drinking tonight?
A combination of things, I would say.
Yes.
I guess not really that proud of saying it. I'm drinking some Natty Daddy. Got to get all up in with that 8%.
Those of you who don't know what Natty Daddy is,
Uh,
because there are people who don't.
I didn't, not before I moved here.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Natty Daddy is natural light on steroids,
Indeed.
basically. It's
Oh, yeah.
8%
8%?
alcohol. So, yeah, like, whatever. So, yeah, we both started out drinking Natty Daddies tonight just to get us there.
I was warming up. I was
Warm up.
stretching.
Yes. So, what are you drinking now?
I'm drinking a Bud Light Michelada.
Which is disgusting, by
He
the
doesn't
way.
like tomatoes. He has no opinion on this. I like it. A Michelada is like beer with some like tomato juice. Well, it's clamato juice or whatever. Put it with some salt, some lime. Delicious.
Disgusting.
This is my chill beer. I'm going to sip on this. I'm going to do that because it's starting to hit me.
And my chill beer tonight is Corona.
Yes.
I like
Cue,
Corona.
cue the Rona jokes.
Right? 2020.
Rona.
But before every episode,
Ugh.
I like to take a shot of some type with my guest. So,
Yes, he would like that.
what shot are we taking tonight?
This is the sour watermelon, Old Smoky.
Oat smoke that we got in Gatlinburg,
We did while we were there.
where I'm from. Well, I'm from Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. Same difference.
It's like the same
Yeah.
area. Let's
Same
just
area.
like whatever.
Yeah, I love it. Homegrown to me.
Ugh.
So, sour watermelon.
We're gonna take the shot.
We're gonna take the shot.
We're gonna do it.
Salud.
Salut.
It's good. I like it.
Oh,
You okay?
it's fine. It kind of tastes like Jolly Ranchers.
A little bit.
It does. No, indeed it does.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
So, all right.
Breathe.
Let's get into it. Marilyn Monroe.
We're gonna get into this. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen, although she did occasionally go by Baker, which was her mom's maiden name. So she was born Norma Jean Mortensen. Woo! June 1st, 1926, in Los Angeles, California. to a Gladys Pearl Baker. Now, she never knew who her dad was. As far as I'm concerned, he was never in the picture, whatever. Split, was shitty, okay. She did grow up in for foster homes and orphanages for, I guess, her entire childhood. Her mom was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, and her friend Mary was just like, I'm going to take over your family affairs, like whatever. I'm going to help you out and take care of your daughter, because she was considered a ward of the state. Now, when she went into the foster homes, she was, I'm going to say heavily molested. Actually, just molested. In general, like, it's all heavy.
Okay.
What?
Like, when you said heavily molested.
I just want to say, like, it was probably, like, it was definitely more than once, but at the same time, like, even one time is heavy.
Yeah.
So, like, it's all heavy. So I'm not saying, like...
One time is all it takes. Like...
So freaking disgusting. I can't
right.
even. So that happened with, like, the first family she was with, the Atkinsons. She was with them for, like, 16 months or something, and she was molested. Now, she also did live with Mary's family. Her name was Grace Goddard. She lived with them. Her husband, Doc Goddard, also molested Marilyn Monroe. Just fucking pieces of shit. But after a while, I mean, she lived between friends and family from Grace, or not Grace. What's her name? Grace? What the fuck do I have written here? No, I'm pretty sure it was Grace. I think I said Mary earlier. Anyway, she was with Grace and her family and friends. Well, she did eventually end up living with Grace's aunt, who was, like, really nice to her, good to her, like, but her aunt, the aunt's, like, health began to fail, so she had to go back with the Goddards. And, you know, that was around middle school. She was still being molested. But then they were going to have to move to West Virginia for a job opportunity for Doc, the molester. And she didn't want to go back into the system. Obviously, she wanted to escape that kind of life, because who wouldn't in that situation? And she ended up marrying her neighbor's son, who was a 21-year-old factory worker. His name was James Doherty. She was kind of bored in that marriage. She actually was one time quoted as saying she was dying of boredom. He did end up joining the Merchant Marines, and she dropped out of high school, and she was like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife. This is awesome. Well, it wasn't awesome for her. So, I guess he had, like, shipped off to the Pacific because all World War II was breaking out. That was around in, like, 1944. She got a job with it was called the Radio Plane Company, and it was a munitions factory. But there's where she met David Conover, and he was sent by the U.S. Army, and it was like their Air Force's first motion picture unit, and it was to shoot morale-boosting photos of female workers in the factories, being like, we got your back, and that was fine. But she was like, she really liked it. She was really good at it. Obviously, she was gorgeous, more of a pinup style, but her husband did not like it. Either way, she was like, fuck it, I'm moving on my own, I'm doing this, right? She's gonna go, he didn't want her to have a career, she was like, I'm doing it. And she ended up with them, the Blue Book Modeling Agency in 1945. So now she occasionally went by, everyone says Norma Jean, but something I read got the name totally backwards, and they were like, it was Jean Norman, and I was like, that's not a hot name.
Yeah, I don't think
that's not
right.
hot. No. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, Norma Jean, everybody knows that. She went.
Can I fun fact you real quick?
Yes, I love fun facts.
So, her birth name was Norma Jean. Everyone knows the song by Elton John, Candle in the Wind. Right? You know the song?
I do.
Yes.
We love Elton John.
We do love Elton John.
We love him.
So, the song Candle in the Wind was written about Marilyn Monroe. Did you know that?
What song did he write about Princess Diana?
The song they used for Princess Diana was Candle in the Wind. After her death, that's the song they associated with Princess Diana. But it was written about Marilyn Monroe in 73, because the opening lyrics to the song says "Goodbye, Norma Jean,"
No.
which is Marilyn's birth name. So,
I feel like those are both conspiracy deaths.
yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, we can always get into Princess Diana at a later date, but
For
the
sure we
royal
will.
family had her killed. Like,
Everyone thinks that.
facts.
Come on.
But anyways, the song "Candle in the Wind" was written for Marilyn Monroe.
I hope
So-
so.
It was.
Her death
Like-
was very sad. Her life was kind of sad.
Yes.
She was very tragic in herself, I feel like. Okay, getting back. So she signed with the modeling agency, Blue Book Modeling Agency, right? 45. She actually divorced Doherty,
Doherty. Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
in 1946. Which I guess was good for her because he was like, don't do this. I don't approve. Like, fuck it. She's gonna do what she do. She had a career. She was very self-conscious. Apparently, they say she was kind of bullied by a lot of directors, which I think women in the film industry were probably not really, I mean, they're still not really that respected by sexism, right? And, but I think at that time they really weren't. They were just there to be the beautiful woman, the one that catches the eye.
Now, at this time, had she already changed her appearance?
Yeah.
Okay.
When she got
Because she
her
wasn't
career.
born blonde.
No,
And-
she bleached that shit.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
was
know
like-
at this point, like,
Yeah, no, I think she had really curly brown hair, and then she switched it. She was like, I'm going to relax it out. I'm going to blonde it up. Like, let's do it.
it's more Hollywood style at that time.
It really looked good on her.
Yeah.
But the process could not have been healthy for her hair. Just going to say that. So she was getting a lot of anxiety, actually, with her work. I mean, everything with the bullying from them and her self-consciousness and her past. It gave her a lot of anxiety. She had a lot of stage fright. And she developed insomnia. But in 1952, she met Joe DiMaggio. They started a thing.
I love DiMaggio. He played for the fucking Yankees, which I don't condone, because fuck the Yankees. I'm sorry. But my opinion in this situation, well, not my opinion, everyone's opinion, because it's well known, Joe DiMaggio was the only one of her husbands who actually loved her for who she was. He wasn't seeking the money, the fame. He had that. Like,
Yes.
he is one of the hands down greatest baseball players of all time. Is Joe DiMaggio. Everyone knows that. He truly loved Marilyn Monroe for who she was. So the fact that their marriage only lasted 9 months
Yeah, not very long.
is, to me, sad, because he loved her. Like, what else do you look for in a marriage? Like, love.
And here's
And-
to you, Joe DiMaggio.
Stop it. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's my little rant on Joe. But Joe was a good
I know.
dude, even after her death. Up
I'm sure he was
until
fine, yeah.
up until Joe DiMaggio's death, he went to her gravesite, left flowers, and even after the divorce, they stayed good friends.
That's good.
She stayed good friends with his son too,
Oh, yeah.
who, according to people, the night of her death, she placed a phone call to. She talked to his son, Joe DiMaggio Jr., I believe, the night of her death.
That's so sad. I can't
Yes,
even.
But good for you, DiMaggio. Love you.
He
Boom.
does. He feels very strongly about this.
I do. He was the only one of her husbands who never took advantage of her. You know?
Well, she
And
didn't need to. Well, he didn't need to.
He didn't need. No. But, and it's sad that relationship couldn't have worked. You know?
Well,
But-
she wasn't feeling it. She was like, I'm off my own. I'm doing my thing. There was a rumor, though, that I guess that she had an affair with somebody on the set of, what movie was it? Blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Let's Make Love. But I don't know about that. She was just young. I mean, she was young.
She made her way around. So.
Meaning what?
She got around. Like, I'm straightforward with it. It's rumored that she got around. Like, so, like.
And men don't get around?
No, they do. I'm just saying, like, you're saying it's rumored that she had an affair with a co-star.
Oh, yeah.
All I'm saying, it's very possible.
It probably did.
Yeah, so.
She was exercising.
Nothing against her. I'm just saying, it's very possible that the affair with the co-star more than likely took place. That's all I'm saying. I just think
it's funny that, like, guys be like, oh, a girl gets around and guys doesn't. And they're like, he's a playboy.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying that's how it sounds in the wording.
That's not what I said.
I know that's not what you mean. I'm just saying.
They don't say that. That's what I'm saying. If that's not what I said.
I know.
Like, guys do it too. Yes. 100% agree with you. I'm just saying, in this situation, it's well known that she did get around. So, all I'm saying is it's more than likely she did have an affair with a co-star.
More than likely, yes.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. Nope.
No, so, he does not.
Don't try to make me sound like that kind of guy.
He's not that kind of guy. I'm just going to say that.
Thank you.
He's very supportive.
Yes.
So I guess in the mid-50s, that's when she had started the barbiturates. Barbiturates. That's how it's spelled, and it's weird. There's like a random R. Because I know you want to say barbiturates, but they're barbiturates.
I trust you.
Well, I've checked the spelling of this multiple times, and that's what it looks like. Anyway, she started on that, and amphetamines and alcohol. She had stress, anxiety, insomnia. It started, right, mid-50s. So she was like full-on addicted by 1956. Now, in 1957, she was hospitalized for an overdose on barbiturates. And, I mean, it's going to happen. When you're full-on addicted, it's, like, happening. Now, she had stage fright and stuff, so that caused her, that and the drugs, I'm going to assume, caused her to be late and absent from sets. But apparently, with, like, directors, and when she felt like she was being, like, bullied, she did it on purpose to, like, prove a point to them. She's like, nah, I'm going to come up late, like, you're paying for me. I mean, do what you got to.
Okay.
And that was, like, on the set of the Let's Make Love. I guess she had an affair. It's rumored. It's a rumored affair. But, I mean, if the guy was hot and she's got it, she was going to do it with Yves Montand. But she was married to Arthur Miller at the time. Now, I did read something, and it said that Marilyn Monroe was actually monogamous and faithful through all of her marriages and relationships. I'm not trying to say that's true. I'm just saying, like, somebody had a very idealized version of who she was. Possibly.
Can I chime in?
Of course.
I 100,000% believe that is a false statement.
I agree.
Like, no.
No, there's not.
From
like,
what we know about Marilyn Monroe, she did not stay faithful between every relationship she had.
No, it seemed like she got bored very easily.
Hence why she has so many fucking marriages, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I just want to cite, like, her childhood. There's got to be a lot of psychological reasons for the things she did.
The trauma she went through here, growing up, probably did a fucking number on her head.
It probably did. You know, she's
I
just
get
looking... that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so.
I understand.
But, no, she was not faithful through 100% of her relationships and marriages. No way.
Probably not. No. I'm going on to talk about, like, some of her, like, career here and what she's doing, and I guess I just want to, like, lay down a foundation of like her addiction and like the trauma that she's had in her life that's caused that much addiction.
Right.
Well, I mean, just the extent of it, because I guess Arthur Miller wrote The Misfits, but her health was failing. She had some gallstone pains, and she was suffering from severe drug addiction. Now, there were some things where they said were like during that movie, like her makeup had to be applied while she was still passed out from the drugs. I mean, you don't want somebody wobbling over when you're doing their makeup, so they had to do it while she was like laying down, passed out, like whatever. But during that movie in August, production had to be halted because she had to detox for a week. But I know after that movie, and actually that movie did very poorly, I think, she got what they would call a Mexican divorce from Arthur Miller. Now, all that is that during the time you could actually get a divorce through Mexico, and it was faster. As far as I know, they don't do that anymore because now you can only really get divorced like in
The States.
the States. Yeah, that's where you're
Makes
married.
sense.
Yeah. So you really can't do that anymore. By the time she did, she was like, boom, ended. And they did. Now, in 1961, she was still suffering from some health issues. Her gallbladder was like being a bitch. And she spent 4 weeks hospitalized because of depression, which I don't blame her. I mean, like I said, she was a very tragic life. Mm-hmm. And God, it was just, I can't even. So she had divorced him. She was done. Blah, blah, blah. It was during this time, and honestly, okay, I'm going to say this, like, I honestly want to try to incorporate where she met the Kennedys during this time. But I have not been able to find where she met Bobby Kennedy or when she met him. Justin might know because honestly,
I believe I know.
Like, we took separate notes on everything, and we actually don't know what each other actually took notes on, and we never went over it. We just kind of did our own thing when we looked into this, and we never looked into our own separate books.
It'd make for a better show.
I guess it would, because he's going to have some stuff to say about this. He is, yes. Which is good, and I guess I'm glad we didn't look into it, although I feel like he's got, like, puzzle pieces that I'm missing, but we're just going to let him fill that in whenever. Now, all I know is that at some time, she really did rekindle a friendship with Joe DiMaggio. Mm-hmm. Like, he was her bro. They
stayed with friends after the divorce.
Yes, which is so good, so important.
Yes. Love you, DiMaggio.
Oh my God, he's gonna go jack off to DiMaggio later.
No, because he was a Yankee.
But she did. It's rumored that she dated Frank Sinatra very briefly, who was friends with DiMaggio, and that's who she met him through.
Also rumored that not only did she date Frank Sinatra, but she was passed around throughout the Rat Pack. Like, they all had their turn with her.
So they had their turn with her, or did she choose to sleep with these men?
They had their turn with her, I believe.
So she didn't choose it?
Come on. She may have made her own choices.
She may have. I'm just saying.
It's
I just
it's
feel like
out there.
Say, like, they passed her around. It's like she had no control over it. They passed her around. Like, did they or didn't they? What happened?
When I did my research, that's the way it was put. Is that she was passed around throughout.
I'm not even...
Just like the Kennedys.
No, I don't think that was passed around. Like, trust me, like...
She was kind of passed around through the Kennedys. We'll get to that.
She might have made her decision, like, oh, like, JFK is one thing, but, like, one night stand. Which also is rumored that her relationship with JFK was technically only a one night stand. No. But that with Bobby, that it might have been more.
It was more with both of them. And we'll get to that. I'll fact you on that.
You're gonna fact me on that?
Yes.
Either way, let's just say, like, I'm just gonna say, like, if she's gonna sleep with who she's gonna sleep with. Like, I'm not gonna say that anybody had any control over who she decided to sleep with.
It was just rumored at a party that she was passed around throughout the Rat Pack.
Like a train?
Probably.
They drove a train on the same night?
It didn't naturally say, like, a train, but it just said she was passed around.
I don't know.
That's what it
said.
She
seems like she puts her foot down when she wants. Like, if she's like, no, I'm not going to do this, I think she is like...
Yes and no.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to go off on a weird feminist rant, but I'm not going to. I want to, but I won't. So, let's go into this. Now, I've already mentioned JFK and that people were saying that it was a one night stand. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because all the stuff that I've come up with, and Justin may have actually gone over this more. He may have looked more into it, but I wasn't. Maybe I should have on my lunch breaks, but like, I work full time. Okay, like I couldn't do this. And he usually
full time too.
He works full time too, yes. But like since COVID and shit happened, like
I'm laid off at the moment.
He's furloughed.
So
you're not laid off. He's furloughed. He's still getting paid. He's just not at work.
But I take care of our son.
He does. So he's at home all day. That's a full time job, ladies.
It is.
And now he knows.
But I love it. I knew that before.
I know. He's such a good stay at home dad, though.
I am. I'm the best.
Ladies, get yourself a stay at home dad. They even fucking cook for you sometimes. It's awesome. Actually, he does all the time. He's a better cook.
That's true. I make some bomb ass dinners.
Yeah. If you want your fish like burned, I will cook it for you. But if you want your fish like perfect, he'll cook it.
I got you.
He does. No, so JFK, the one night stand. I did read something that said that they only had 3 chances to encounter each other throughout like their time in like public eye. Now, who knows what people do in their public eye? Probably in the 50s and 60s, it's a lot easier to do stuff. Not in the public eye because everything's not as accessible. You don't got Twitter, you don't have like a phone, like a camera in your pocket at every moment. Like, I get that. But 3 instances that are him being the president, though, he's really got to report where he is. The 3 instances that they could have met each other was in April 1957, the first one. Now, they attended the April in Paris ball at the Waldorf Astoria, which is in New York.
New York, yeah.
Apparently, they never met there, and they were both with their spouses, Arthur Miller and Jackie O, obviously. Correct. Well, Jackie Kennedy at the time. 1961, it's rumored they were both attending a dinner party at Peter Lawford's home. Now, Lawford was Bobby Kennedy's brother-in-law.
And JFK's.
Yes. JFK's brother-in-law?
Well, Bobby and JFK are brothers, so yes.
I mean, an in-law of sorts. I never understood how that worked.
Lawford was married to JFK and Bobby Kennedy's younger sister.
So just like an in-law? You know what? I'm not going to go into
brother-in-law.
I'm too confused. Brother-in-law. In-law, whatever.
Yes. They were... Lawford and the Kennedy brothers were brother-in-laws.
No, I know. I think where I just get confused is, like, obviously Lawford was... You know, Bobby Kennedy was married to his sister, so that's his brother-in-law. But JFK is like, yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
Bobby Kennedy was not married to his sister.
Wife? Cousin?
No, nothing.
Who?
Lawford was married to Bobby Kennedy and JFK's younger sister.
I thought that was his sister.
No, Lawford was married to a Kennedy. That's how they were related.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay,
their younger sister married Lawford.
Okay.
Janet. What's her name? Janice? Patricia?
Something.
Janet? Something.
Okay, yeah, let's just go with that. So, but they actually never confirmed if Marilyn was there. They said JFK was, but like she wasn't. Well, they don't know if she was. You would think at a small dinner party people would know. And then March 24th, 1962. Both were said to be at Bing Crosby's Palm Springs, California. But apparently it's rumored where they met and actually where they probably banged it out for the first time.
Correct.
Hey, y'all. Everybody knows that we're, like, drinking, so I gotta pee. But Justin's gonna explain this to you. Hold on, I have notes. Justin, just explain it. I gotta pee.
So, I don't know what notes she has here, but... Yes, it's rumored that they more than likely met at Bing Crosby's party, and it's rumored to believe that is where they first met, hooked up, got together, whatnot. So my personal opinion is that's the first time they met. I don't think they met back in April at the Paris ball in New York. They were both with their significant others. So don't think that's where they met. Then, like we said, the party at Peter Lawford's house. JFK was there. We know that. We don't know if Marilyn was there. She could have been. Like, that could have been their first meeting. And then later at Bing Crosby's party could have been when they actually got together. So they could have met at the dinner party at Lawford's house, then Bing Crosby's when they hooked up. But either way, I believe that they hooked up at Bing Crosby's dinner party.
I'm back.
She's back.
Y'all,
So,
when he says like drunk history, just remember that when you're drunk, you gotta pee.
you do.
You do. That's what happened.
I
But
peed before the show, so.
I did though. That's the thing.
And you got to get that bladder checked.
It's just like I've had a child. Okay, you expect me to hold my pee? If I sneeze too hard, I pee myself. Come on.
I don't.
That's not very sexy, but I'm just gonna say that's a real thing.
But I love you. So. My wife, everybody.
Yay.
Anyways.
So he went over the thing, but that's rumored where they actually met for the first time and where they probably hooked up because I guess that she had called a masseuse friend of hers and was just like, yo, tell me how to do those back rubs. But then like Kennedy was in the back like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him. My back hurts. Please rub me down.
Well, we all know Kennedy was a playboy. JFK. Like,
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I'm drinking. Yeah.
like we
He
know
was.
that Marilyn wasn't his only affair to Jackie.
Mm-mm.
Which is fucked up because,
Yeah.
in my opinion, Jackie, she was a bomb-ass wife.
No, yeah, I absolutely
Like-
agree with that. Maybe she didn't want to do weird shit in bed. Maybe he's like, yes, let's try something other than missionary.
Maybe. But for him to step out on Jackie,
Yeah, you gotta be something like.
my opinion, Jackie was a ride or die wife.
And she did,
She
even
did.
with the affairs.
Even after she knew about the affair with Monroe. I don't know about the other girls. More than likely, she knew.
She did. She even made a quote saying, like, I know there were
know.
others. Like,
Well, I read that Jackie even reached out to Monroe and sent her a letter saying she knew, and if she wanted her husband, she could have him. I did read that somewhere. Don't know how true it is.
okay, well, here's
But-
the thing. Is like, I also read that, like, whatever affair they had, it wasn't as hyped up as everybody was just like, yeah, it's sexy to probably be like, oh, they had a very long affair. But from
I don't
everything
think it was
I
very
read,
long.
everyone says it wasn't long.
Less than a year.
I read that it was just like not even. It was like a one-time thing, and that she wasn't even that interested in him. She was like, "Yeah, it was a thing. Fuck the dude, like whatever."
I did my research and I saw that yes, they met on 4 occasions, but only slept together on one of them.
What were the 4
But
occasions? Can you go
I
over this? with
don't
me?
know all 4 occasions.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
But I also read that JFK would slip her like
Drugs?
no, like like American Secrets, and that's how she came about her little red book.
The Red Diary.
The Red
That's also a
Diary,
thing.
yes.
Yes, it's a thing that they said she did.
That JFK would whisper her things during pillow talk. So when I hear that, I think there's more than one occasion that they slept together. during
That would
pillow
make you
talk.
think yes.
Yeah.
Also,
So-
what kind of pillow talk is that? Like, you're just like, it's after the sex, and you're just like, oh, we're laying here feeling all sexy, and then he's like, guess what?
Fuck yeah.
Not
You're
gonna
the-
bomb Cuba. And it's like, what?
Fuck yeah. You are the president of the United States. You're sleeping with a girl. After you bang her, do your business. You're gonna be like, yo, I know some shit.
I don't want to know those things.
Yes, you do.
No, I
Everyone
don't.
does. I would want to know.
Not after we just had sex. It's like, why are you telling me this? Now I'm like, what? I had to turn state's witness? Like, if something happens? Like, am I going to end up murdered in my bed, naked, clutching a phone? like Marilyn did. I don't want that info, man.
That wasn't JFK's fault, though.
No, everyone says it was Bobby's.
It was Bobby's.
Ooh, jumping ahead.
Well, yeah,
It was
sorry,
Bobby's.
I'm sorry.
We're jumping ahead, but yeah,
Way ahead.
honestly, probably Bobby.
But
I suspect
So
Bobby.
anyways, back to the subject. I believe it was more than one time. I do. I believe they had an affair more than once.
Honestly, I guess, yeah, if I was JFK and I was already cheating on my wife a bunch of times, I'd be like, why not do it with somebody as hot as Marilyn? I got no morals about cheating. I'm going to do it with Marilyn. I'd do it.
You say that like Jackie was a bad-looking chick.
She wasn't.
She wasn't.
But, like, if he's already having affairs, why not do it with somebody who looks like Marilyn?
I guess.
I mean, come on.
I get what you're saying.
He's already doing it. Like,
Yeah.
up the ante. Don't just do it with, like, a weird barmaid who's just got,
Yeah,
like,
because
freckles.
it was rumored that he had an affair with another chick. I can't remember her name. But Marilyn was pissed off about it.
Rightfully so.
Well, not rightfully so, because he was fucking having an affair with her. It's not like Marilyn was his wife or anything.
Oh, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
would be upset,
No,
too. Be like,
JFK was sleeping with Marilyn Monroe and another girl.
yeah, I'd be upset, too. Like, are you kidding me?
But-
This is what you do. I'm just for fun.
Like, Marilyn was
No.
upset about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Why you fucking other hoes?
anyways. Do you have more with the JFK and Marilyn?
Honestly, like, that's where it stopped. I think,
Alright.
like, I was, like,
Do
drinking
you
when I
know
wrote that.
when the affair stopped between them?
I thought it was, like, right after his birthday. Because he invited her, apparently, to his birthday while they were at the
To
Palm
do
Springs.
the infamous birthday song.
Oh, the infamous birthday song.
Which after they were affair, he invited her to sing him happy birthday.
Rubbing mud in his wife's face. Like, just like,
Yes.
fuck it. Apparently, she didn't attend. I didn't actually realize that. She, like,
Really?
yeah, apparently everything it says, like, Jackie didn't attend.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. That's
Interesting.
what I saw. Is that she didn't
But-
attend and she was really mad about it and she blamed Bobby and was like, he's the one who did this. He's the one who brought her.
But yes, so JFK invited Marilyn Monroe to sing the song for him. Anyone who's seen the fucking video of it, it is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
Risque?
yeah, sure. Like,
She
there's
actually-
obviously sexual tension between them two from how she's saying happy birthday to him.
Honestly, she has like sexual tension with anybody she comes across with. She was like walking sex. She got sewed into that dress. It was so fucking tight. Like they just like sewed her into it. And it was like
Yes.
flesh colored and like fucking like covered in diamond or like sequins, whatever. She was like shining. And like, I mean, she was rocking the dress.
Yes.
I mean, he was probably there and he did say complimentary things about it. He called it the most wholesome song. And I think he was being sarcastic, obviously.
He was, because
That was not wholesome.
that is when he decided to end things with her, is after that performance.
It was. That's what I heard, is that he was like, whoa, that's a lot. Now, that same night was the only night that her, JFK, and Bobby Kennedy were photographed together.
Yes.
But why? He's like turning away from the cameras talking to her. Like, I guess he wants some privacy, like, obviously. But he's just like, I'm going to turn my back to the camera and, like, talk to her. Like, that just seems like he's like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, if it's like nothing, like, just talk to somebody normal. Why are you like, I don't want somebody to see my face while I'm talking to her. Because I can't concentrate on her eyes when I'm looking at her titties.
Naturally.
I mean,
But,
her
so
dress.
after that performance, JFK was like, I gotta quit this. So
People are talking.
But you know how you said you weren't sure how Marilyn Monroe and Bobby Kennedy met.
Yes.
Q and Bobby Kennedy.
That's when they met. She died like 4 or 5 months later.
Yes. JFK sent Bobby Kennedy to end things with Monroe. When he did that, they hit it off. Cue in Bobby Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe's affair. Because his birthday was what, May?
Yeah, she died in August. So it was like a summer-long affair that she would have had with Bobby.
I don't know how far I'm jumping in here. Do you know about the abortion?
Apparently she did. It's
In
a
July.
rumor.
July of 62.
Mm-hmm.
She had a supposedly abortion, and it's rumored to be Bobby Kennedy's. Because at that point, her affair with JFK already ended. So...
I would have ended it too. Have you seen Bobby?
Yeah.
I feel like he was a little hotter than JFK.
I
I do appreciate JFK and like everything that he was and looks like or whatever, minus the affairs. I mean, that was pretty harsh. But Bobby? Pretty good looking dude.
No, JFK all the way.
No.
Yeah.
No. We disagree about who was hotter.
It's JFK. Like, he had the power, he had the looks. Like, JFK got done with Monroe, so he passed her to his brother.
The hotter one.
Tomato, tomato. I don't know.
It was, oh my God. Like, honestly, I've always thought that. Like, yeah, you know, JFK as a president, he did so much for civil rights and all these things. That was great. And obviously, maybe he had some strife in his marital problems, but at the same time, like, come on, Bobby. You were hot. But I did hear that Bobby was a very quiet, shy kid when he was younger. And his mom was afraid that he would grow up, quote, unquote, a sissy. Now,
He was a sissy.
well, that's kind of rude to say about someone's child. Like, he's gonna be a sissy. Like, I mean...
He was a sissy, though.
Rude. Maybe he was just like a nice, quiet, shy boy who just wanted to be in a nice, quiet, shy life. Okay? Maybe that's all he wanted. But then though he got older, he became aggressive and then apparently had an explosive temper and all these things, which is why there are rumors about her death and then her visiting. Even neighbors have said they saw him visiting with Secret Service. Yes, that evening.
I knew about the visitation that evening, but not with the Secret Service. With Peter Lawford.
They don't know if it was Secret Service. They say it was just two men dressed in black that went with him. But obviously, why would he go anywhere without a Secret Service?
Bobby?
Yeah.
Because Bobby didn't have Secret Service.
He was Attorney General. Why wouldn't he if he's going out in the public somewhere?
He did not have Secret Service being the general attorney.
So were they like...
The only person with him that night was Peter Lawford.
I heard it was like two random men. Nobody... Well, I mean, people
I've
looked... You
looked...
didn't? Oh my God.
I looked into this.
Oh, fuck. I looked
and I saw nothing about two Secret Servicemen being with them.
People just said they were Secret Service.
No. Everything I read was Bobby Kennedy and Peter Lawford.
Well, apparently Peter Lawford was rumored to have been there or have been... Because they were saying that
there.
Peter Lawford was probably his way out of Los Angeles at the time. That they chartered a private plane after like everything happened, like the gruesome, and then that's how he got out, was they chartered a private plane through Peter Lawford.
Bobby Kennedy was in San Francisco that day, I believe.
Was he? Because apparently the White House apparently had no idea where he was that day.
Naturally. No. Bobby Kennedy was in San Francisco, San Diego. He was somewhere in California that day. And then he flew into LA, Burbank. Where did she live? Her house was in Burbank, which is...
No, she lived in Brentwood.
Brentwood. Not Burbank, my bad.
Yeah, she lives in Brentwood.
Yeah. So, but he flew in, like, later. But he was in California the day.
Yeah, no, that's what I heard too, is that like he was there and people saw him. Even a neighbor was just like, yeah, but I'm not saying it was Secret Service. I'm just saying that people have said that they saw him going into the house with two men dressed in black or whatever. And I'm just saying, like, I mean, they may not have been Secret Service, but if you see Bobby Kennedy walking into a house with two men dressed in black, you're going to assume, okay, well, the Attorney General is walking of the U.S. is walking into a house, Marilyn Monroe's, it must be Secret Service. But it could have been anybody. I mean, it could have been like, I don't know, like assassins. There's a lot that goes on with that. There really is. But it really could have been anybody at the time. I don't know.
I don't think he had Secret Servicemen.
No, I'm just saying that's what they described him as being because of how they were dressed. Not necessarily that they were. No. But it was just like a neighbor even said that, like, yeah, that's who it was. But they did identify him. It's very hard. So, whether or not she had a very long affair with Kennedy or not, like, it wasn't long. That wasn't like, I don't think that was the catalyst that broke the back. Now, as far as her death goes, let's just get to that. Because it was only, like they said, that was in, when was that she sang that to him? May? When is his birthday?
May,
right. Let's just say, so that was that, and she died in August. Now, in that time period, things have had to happen. Now, some of the theories. Let me just go into this around her death.
yes.
So, her death happens. It was August 5th.
4th.
4th?
They found her on the 5th.
They found her on the 5th, but apparently it was between the 4th and the 5th, very late at night, that she had to have died. Now, here's the thing. It's a lot. Now, there is a rumor that, like, yeah, Bobby Kennedy went and he showed up. And the maid said, even in one theory, that they said the maid and her son were there and they were sent to...
No.
I did read something about her son being there.
I read nothing about the son.
Okay,
it was
I
the
did.
maid and her doctor, or her psychiatrist, who she also had an affair with.
Who wouldn't? But... No, I did read something about, like, the maid's son was with her, and they had to go and stay at a neighbor's house because Bobby Kennedy came in with some guys, and they were just, like, looking to give some room, some space. We got to talk to her. And so, obviously, they did. So, they went to a neighbor's house. Now, there was a report of the maid saying that they went and they went to a neighbor's house after this all happened. But when they came back, whatever, they went to bed. But when the maid... Okay, so, official story. Let's not even get into that. What happened... Straightforward details. I feel like what the maid is like, whatever. So the maid was there and went to bed, whatever. Woke, I don't know if she lived there, but she woke up, she was there. It was around 3 in the morning. She noticed that Marilyn's lights and stuff were still in her room. So she went to go and check on her and was just like, yo, what's up? Like, knock, knock, knock. Like, are you okay? Why are you up? It's like 3 in the morning. Which is a weird question to ask an insomniac, I feel. Because they'd probably be up. But she was still like, what's up? Why are you up? This is out of the ordinary. And she didn't hear anything. She was just like, okay, well, gonna call the police. Like, I'm gonna go try to get into the room. She can't get in the room. The door is locked. No response. She knows she's in there. She's been in there all night. Whatever. Calls, I think her doctor or psychiatrist or someone to even come over and be like, help us get into this room. Now, I guess the psychiatrist, doctor, whatever, came over and was just like, okay, he couldn't get anything out of her, couldn't hear anything, so he broke into the window of her bedroom, which is like, I'm going to get in here, like, we got to see what's going on. Oh my god. Sorry, my cat, like, sneezed or hissed at something. What the Anyway. So, he did that, he went in, but when he made it in, he broke a window to her room, got in. Apparently, he just found her as she was, laying naked, like butt-ass naked in her bed, face down, and they say with a phone clutched in her hand.
Yes.
That she died. Oh, well, that's how they found her. And they called an ambulance, they let him, open the door, so the maid called an ambulance, like, whatever. Now, there's various reports. People are saying that she was dead upon being found, but people are saying that she might have been in a coma, she was unconscious, very faint pulse, whatever. Either way, they called an ambulance, and they came there. They're like, "Nah, she's dead. We gotta go." Well, they didn't leave her. Obviously, they were like, "We gotta get her out. Like, she's dead. She's gone." Now the reports during the night kind of vary. Because the maid has been said, and multiple reports, even from neighbors, have said Bobby Kennedy was seen at the house earlier in the evening. Like, he came the night before. So, like, chances are she had probably been dead a longer amount of time. Because if he was there, but he was gone by the time anybody found her. So, I mean, but he was there and he wanted to talk to her. And people have said that he was with two men, or a man, or a couple men, or whatever, in black. And they wanted to talk to her. And this is just from what people are saying, is that they were having an argument. The maid even heard the argument, but then she had to leave the house. For the short, they said, "Hey, leave the house for a little bit. We gotta talk to her." But they had an argument, and because of explosive temper, they're thinking that something might have happened. He might have killed her, or maybe he didn't want anything to get out. And she died because they, murder. Everyone's saying that maybe she could have been suffocated, strangulated, or whatever. Or there's like so many things that could have happened in this time frame and all the different rumors that are coming in. But for that one, there's like an argument. And then apparently, like, when the maid and stuff was coming, they were like, well, when they realized that people were coming, they were going to leave. And they try to leave out the back of the White House. And then Peter Lawford probably helped them get out of the city, state, whatever. There are other rumors that that men were there, unidentifiable men who were dressed fancy or whatever, in black suits, whatever, came and saw her and that murdered her. Now, she was on the phone, but she had talked to some family members that night, or friends and everything.
And Joe DiMaggio's son. And she had said, like, "Oh, say goodbye to so-and-so for me, and tell them I say goodbye, and goodbye to you too." Probably just... I believe that was to Peter Lawford.
Yeah. But Peter Lawford was also said to be at the home, but they're saying that she called him, in another rumor that she had called him and that he wasn't there, and was just like, say goodbye to your wife for me, and, and say goodbye to yourself too, because you're just fabulous, like, whatever. Either way, the way she was found looked like a drug overdose. Now, when they did let's just go back to that. When they did the autopsy after they found her, she was dead. She was dead. And they're saying they think it was a barbiturate overdose and all this stuff. They said she had to have taken over 40 pills of stuff or whatever. A combination of things. But here's the thing, is the autopsy, or the doctor who did it, said they found no traces or capsules of any of the pills in her stomach. Now, obviously, nothing was going to happen all at once. Like, you don't take pills and they don't dissolve, like, right away, like, snip-snappity in your stomach. Like, it's a very slow process, and by what everything breaks down is very different. But because of that, people are... I did read some stuff that said, like, he was strangling her, or he was, like, beating her, or something. She had no marks on her face.
But she did have defensive wounds.
Defensive wounds.
Yes. Yes,
she did.
And
I'm going to let Justin talk about that, actually, because defensive wounds is more something he looked into. I did not, obviously.
Also, the whole thing that saying she overdosed on the pills, they found no drinking water. They found nothing for her to drink in her room or her bathroom. So how would she have taken all these pills with nothing to drink?
Well, I can take pills dry. I actually don't need any of that.
Okay, so, but also, I also read that the room she was found in wasn't her room. It was a guest room. Had no lock on the door. And the glass that they found broken from the supposed doctor breaking into the room, the glass was on the outside.
Oh.
I did read that.
Oh my.
Because the doctor and the housekeeper, Eunice Murray, their stories started to not add up.
Strange.
Like, with the broken glass on the outside, and then her saying, "Oh, the door's locked. I couldn't get in," but there was supposedly no lock on the door.
I never heard about a guest room. It was a
Yes.
guest room? Oh my.
That's what I read. So, but I also don't know where to jump in your story
We'll jump in now
because,
because
like,
I'm getting like all mixed up because there's so many theories about what
there's so
happened
many
that night.
theories.
About like the mob coming in and then like
I
there was,
I will tell you everything about the mob. I will tell you that
we're gonna
conspiracy.
get all into that. Let's do the mob. Let's do Bobby first.
Well, okay. So with Bobby, it's rumored that he showed up that night, was talking with her and everything with Peter Lawford. They left, but showed back up later that night. A neighbor said that there was an ambulance that showed up as the residence at 10 p.m. So 10 o'clock that night.
Oh my.
So one conspiracy and rumor that I read is that the ambulance showed up after Bobby was there at 10 p.m. Took Marilyn away. Like the housekeeper found him, took Marilyn, but she was still alive from the overdose. Kennedy had the ambulance turn around and drive her back to her house. And that is when Bobby and Peter Lawford showed up again. And then she died.
Well,
So,
yeah.
but it is rumored, and a witness said that there was an ambulance there at 10 o'clock at night the day she died. Well before any other time frame of story. It's also rumored to believe that I read that Eunice Murray, or her housekeeper, actually first found her at 12:30, like midnight. But she retracted that statement and said no, she actually found her at 3:30 in the morning when she walked out and saw the light under the door. So Eunice Murray is, I believe, on record saying she found her at midnight, 12:30, then recanted that statement and said she found her at 3:30, and it wasn't at 12:30. That's kind of a big time frame.
Oh, very big.
It's like 3 hours
Oh yeah.
for her to like mess up. So
Oh my God, who was coaching her?
I don't know. So it's just from what I read and whatnot. So like,
That's crazy.
I mean, there's different conspiracy stories.
There is.
So like,
Well-
I have a few other ones too.
There's others. There's one. Let's touch on the mob one.
You want to touch up on the mob?
We're gonna touch up on the mob.
Okay.
We're gonna do this. So, the mob. They're saying that mob boss, Sam Giancana.
Giancana. Yes.
Giancana.
Yep.
He was. God. Okay, so let's just say this: the mob did not like Bobby Kennedy, and they
Do
were.
you know why?
Well, they were supposedly teamed up with the Teamsters, like Jimmy Hoffa and them, and they had, they had ties to the mob, or rumored ties to the mob, let's just say. Nobody knows for sure, and that everyone was very mad at him. They didn't want that to go. They didn't like him, and go ahead.
Sam Giancana was pretty much number one on Bobby Kennedy's hit list to, like, end in the
Yeah.
mafia. Bobby Kennedy strongly and heavily went after the mafia, especially in Chicago.
No.
And Sam Giancana was at the top of the list of the people Bobby Kennedy was trying to bring down.
One of them gone.
So
So that was the thing.
Mhm.
Now, I remembered how she died according to the mob theories. Something similar, maybe not Bobby Kennedy, but they were saying that like men showed up to talk to her. Whatever. I don't know what they wanted to chit chat about, but it's kind of late. A lot of stuff. But what I do know about that theory is that they probably went in because they were trying to go after her and trying to dangle like her affair and all that stuff getting out to get at Bobby Kennedy. Now, there's a lot to go into that as well as Bobby's reaction that they say is why maybe he also tried to kill her was to get rid of the mob's holding over him. Like, hey, if I kill her first, like y'all can't even hold it over me anymore. But basically what they're saying is like, okay, and this is what I heard on how they killed her, what they were gonna like strangle her or whatever. But and here's the thing about that is because they found no pills or capsules, whatever, in her stomach, that how they murdered her was obviously strong-arming her. She wasn't a very big woman at all, but that they gave her a barbiturate enema.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, you know, I don't know if they like.
Do you know how they gave it to her?
Well, enema's up the ass.
Yes.
And there's like a. What do? You like grind up the pills? You're gonna put them in the water for the enema, and they're just gonna pump it up the ass. Okay, like just let me know because I was trying to think about that. I was like,
can I give the backstory of the mafia?
Yes.
On her killing.
Let's let him do the mafia part because, God, I'm tired of hearing myself talk.
All right, so the conspiracy of the mafia killing her is she had connections to Sam Giancana. She was friends with Giancana through Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
So once Bobby ended things with Marilyn Monroe, she wanted to get back in good terms with Giancana. Giancana saw it as, hey, we can use Monroe to get to Kennedy. So Giancana came up with the plan that, hey, we'll get Monroe to get Bobby to come over there that night and apologize to her for breaking up with her and whatnot, and have like her commit suicide after he left, basically to kind of like embarrass Bobby and kind of ruin his reputation as Attorney General. You know, like he had an affair with this girl, she died that night. Like he was trying to ruin his career because he was coming after him. So Giancana had Marilyn Monroe call Bobby, which she couldn't get a hold of him. And then another friend tried to get a hold of him. No one could get a hold of Bobby. He wasn't answering his phone or whatever. He finally did for one of their friends. And Marilyn said that she had a sex tape of Bobby Kennedy and her. And she was going to go public with it unless he came over and talked to her and apologized for ending things. Because she wanted to be with Bobby. She wanted Bobby to leave his wife, Ethel,
yeah,
whatever, and be with her, but he wouldn't. So she threatened him with this sex tape that she didn't actually have.
Someone had it. I heard there was bugs. We're going to talk about that later.
Oh, we will get into the bugs. Her house was bugged 3 or 4 times from different people. Yeah, so we'll get into that, but so they finally got a hold of Bobby, told her, hey, Marilyn Monroe has a sex tape of you two. She's going to release it if you don't go talk to her. Bobby comes and talks to her with Peter Lawford. Rumors have it that they had a good talk. It went peaceful and whatnot. Bobby asked for the tape. She was like, I don't actually have a tape. I just said that. He grew furious. Started, like, wrecking shit in her house, like trying to find the tape. But there was no tape. I guess he looked in the closet and found all the wires from her house being bugged. Grew even more furious because he's like, what are all these fucking wires if there's no actual tape? And that's when it's rumored that on one of the wiretaps, you can hear them arguing, and then you can hear kind of Peter Lawford come in and try to like diffuse things, and then everything goes silent. And you don't hear any more arguing, you don't hear Marilyn Monroe talking, and it's rumored that she either fell or was hit by someone because she had a bruise, I think, on her left hip.
Yes, I heard it.
That showed up on the autopsy. That they say is when that happened. But anyways, so Marilyn Monroe became hysterical, like yelling at Bobby because of the tape and everything, and him getting mad. So Bobby Kennedy had her doctor, Greensboro,
Something, yeah.
Green something, come and give her a shot to calm her down. So the doctor gives her the shot to calm her down. Bobby and Peter Lawford leave. A few hours later is when the mafia hitmen come in. They break in. They give her the fatal suppository in her butt.
In the ass.
They say they put it in her butt, taped her butt to make sure it didn't come out, and waited for it to take effect.
They taped her ass.
Yes, that's what they say.
That's gross.
To make sure it didn't pop out.
Well, yeah, because after an enema, it's gonna like spew out.
Yeah.
Like,
so once it took effect, is when it's rumored, because her maid or whatever, housekeeper, the Eunice Murray, was there. The mafia threatened her and told her, like, we were never here. The only person you saw tonight was Bobby Kennedy. And if you say otherwise, we will kill you, we'll kill your family. They basically threatened her and blackmailed her into saying that they were never there that night. The only person they saw was Bobby Kennedy. So that's the rumor of how the mafia killed her. It's the mafia and the story, and then Bobby Kennedy's story are very similar of how things took place.
it is. That is strangely similar. Because I have heard about, like, the bruise, and no one was able to actually figure out, like, what that bruise was from, and I guess the coroner didn't even inquire about why or what it was.
No, from what I read and everything, they really botched the autopsy
Oh my God,
of
yes.
Monroe. Which is when they say her little black book, or little red book, diary, whatever, went missing.
Yeah, nobody could find it.
They say the coroner was under a lot of pressure and distress about getting the autopsy out. And when he did, the next day is when missing information and the little red book went missing.
Oh my God.
Because also the police officer in charge of that case was Chief Parker was ahead of her case. Chief Parker was very good friends with the Kennedys, especially Bobby and his wife. it's rumored to believe that at a party in California that there was a note left written from Bobby Kennedy's wife, Ethel. Ethel wrote that she believed Chief Parker should be the next head of the FBI over J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh, Hoover did not like Bobby.
No, him and the Kennedys did not get along at all. But with the head of investigation of Marilyn Monroe's death was very good friends and had connections with the Kennedys. Like, come on. The shit went missing.
Oh my god. I can't even, like any of her death scenarios are not comfortable.
No.
It's like either she was very sad and then decided to like kill herself, or she was like having an argument with a lover who killed her, or it was like the mob and her lover, or it was just the mob that came in. Like, it was a lot that I can't. And like also how they found her, because they have read that's like she was found and she had the phone in her hand. Was she calling for help? Was she like, oh my god,
well,
these bastards?
Like what I said earlier with the ambulance finding her at like 10 o'clock at night, taking her and then bringing her back. When they brought her back, Bobby and Peter Lawford showed up. That's when it's rumored that like her body was placed like that. They placed the phone in her hand to corroborate that she had called Peter that night.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't.
Oh, that would make sense.
I don't know if they did like studies on it, but apparently she died like face up and stuff. But when they found her body, she was face down with the phone in her hand, nude. It's also rumored to believe that she never slept naked. She always slept with a bra on to keep her boobs up and not sag and drag. She always slept with a bra on. So for them to find her naked, they said was very uncommon. So that just plays into the point that there was someone else behind it, because she wouldn't have been naked.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
But yeah, with the whole finding her body and then like having her brought back to the house because she was still alive, and it is rumored that she was suffocated.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Is that she was suffocated and then like he just wanted her to stop screaming or something. Oh god, that's so fucking bad.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
So
obviously a lot right there with her death even. Okay, so let's just try to move past this part. I'm not trying to like gloss over it. I'm just saying like the bugs.
The bugs, yes. Let's touch on that a quick bit.
So they were saying that people could have bugged her would have been okay. So it was a private investigator that said that he could have done it, and then he came out with this whole thing saying like, yeah, I did it. Like I have all these tapes. Like I've heard her having sex with these different men. They said JFK was a 2-minute man. That's what I heard.
Probably.
I mean, if you're having sex with Marilyn Monroe, I figure anybody would be a 2-minute man. No offense.
Probably.
I mean, she was hot. But, they're saying J. Edgar Hoover
had her
buzzed, and as did the mob.
Yes, okay.
They wanted her done.
Do you know why each person had her house bugged?
Well, I know the Hoover didn't like her. No, not like her, but he didn't like the Kennedys. They were trying to find anything to bring them down.
Hoover had her house bugged to try to find information on the Kennedys. Anything he could to disclaim or get rid of the Kennedys. Then it's rumored that the FBI had her house bugged too, but Hoover is the FBI. So, but what I'm thinking is the FBI did bug her house, but Hoover had his own separate
Agenda.
agenda against it, which, so Hoover's was to catch her with the Kennedys, anything to destroy the Kennedys he
Right.
wanted to do. The FBI bugged her house to get info on Sinatra and the mob.
Right.
They were after the mafia.
Oh yeah, they wanted them down.
So that's why the FBI had her house bugged.
okay.
Then the last bug was Giacana in the mafia.
Giovanna.
Had her house phone bugged to try to find info on the FBI and the Kennedys, well, Bobby Kennedy, looking into the mafia. Because he was trying to bring down the mafia at the time. So it's rumored to believe her house was bugged like 3 or 4
Oh my god.
times from different people.
I'd be so pissed. Like, what the hell?
And like when Bobby went through her house and found all those wires.
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So it was from the bugs. But it's rumored that like when the mafia, like the mafia rumor of it happened, Bobby found her and actually called J. Edgar Hoover to get his help on it.
Ugh.
Even though they hated each other, Hoover did it because he was like, well, if I help you guys out in this situation, you owe me. And it's actually on record of Bobby Kennedy saying that J. Edgar Hoover was a great FBI person and that he did good at his job, even though they hated each other.
He was good.
So why would Bobby Kennedy come out and say this stuff about Hoover when they hated each other?
I don't know.
Hoover saw it as like, all right, I'm gonna help you out, make this go away, but you owe me, so you can't go after my job. That's how Hoover kept his job, and he did. They didn't. He didn't lose his job as the FBI director,
No.
even though this Chief Parker, who was endorsed by the Kennedys, didn't win.
Oh my god.
Which I think, if I remember correctly, Parker died like a couple years later after that. Because Hoover didn't die until 72, I believe.
Alright.
Which he lived longer than Bobby Kennedy.
Oh.
Because Bobby Kennedy was assassinated as well. But that part is rumored that Hoover helped Kennedy cover it so Hoover would save his own ass and save his job. But I mean,
I
it
don't know.
depends on what you believe. Like, I know what I believe.
Okay, what do you believe?
Well, I was gonna save that for the end of the show.
Oh.
Like, do we have more? Is there
What
more?
was her death? No, I wanted to get into the bugs and all that, and then like what the mob had to do with it, and like all these. That's what I mean. Is like trying to consolidate all the reasons as
Right.
to how she could have died was so hard. Because I was like, I mean, you hear this, you hear that, and you want to just be like, something's gotta be the reason. I mean, she had just fixed her relationship with Fox, and had
She
just
did.
signed with them.
Her-
Yeah, and she was gonna restart her movie.
Yes, her career was on the up and up after that. I know she was
Yeah.
depressed and she went through some shit, but she was fired from Fox,
Yeah.
but she actually got her contract back with Fox.
They were going to do it.
And
that would have actually, they said there was nothing. She had just bought that house. She got her career back on the up. She was just going on up. Although sometimes people hit that plateau where they're like on the up and up and they just kind of flatline.
True.
I mean, people with depression, like, it happens.
I don't think that was the case in this.
You think it was, what do you think it was?
She was murdered.
Well, obviously, I mean, honestly, if I'm going to say, like, it was strange. All the things I read, it was, like, on all the reports and people, and then, like, somebody's coming out with a book about it. Might have been Norman Mailer. Someone was going to come out with a book. I don't even know if it was Norman Mailer. Please don't take my word on that.
There were a lot of people who came out with books.
They were going to come up with books about it, and then, like, was actually threatened, and he retracted and redacted and was like, never mind, like, I only did that to sell books. Like, I don't even know if that's happened. But at the same time,
I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
I remember reading
it was someone, and they were like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, they were gonna come out with something, and then they said it, and they were like, oh yeah, I wrote that, but like, it was only to sell books. And it was like,
I remember reading something about that.
Why would you, I mean, you gotta be a pretty horrible person.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah, you gotta be a horrible person to write something and be like, I only said that just to sell the books. And I was like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, you can't do that. But there's all these eyewitness testimonies and stuff that contradict completely what happened or was said to have happened. And, like, why would you do this? So I want to say, like, yeah, like, it wasn't, her death was not on the up and up. It was not. No. I don't think it was for any other reasons. Even if she did decide to, like, take her own life, it just, at the time, I was like, well, everything seemed to be going really well for her. And she did, but in the past, she did have, like, suicidal, like, ideation, which is
true.
And a lot of people who do reach that point where they're about to kill themselves will be like, yeah, this is happening for me, and it's going great. And then they just do it, and they make plans ahead of time that they know they will never reach. And because they're going to do these things, like, to themselves, like, I mean, you can't really guess what people in that kind of mind state will make. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, she was having all these weird relationships with very powerful people that it's like, did she get it over her head? Which she might have.
I clearly believe she got way in over her head.
Do you think it was the mob or Bobby Kennedy?
What do you think? I want to know your opinion on that first. What do you think happened?
I think the mob is very likely, but at the same time, I don't know if Bobby Kennedy wouldn't have wanted his whole life disturbed by this. I don't think he would have wanted that. I mean, I think he had like 11 kids or something. He had a lot of kids.
He did. And he wasn't going to give up his family and his wife for Marilyn.
No, he was like, no.
That's what she wanted.
Did she want it, or was she just like, it was the fun of it?
Either
way, it was something like
she wanted him to end it with his wife. Because one of their sisters even emailed Marilyn Monroe and said...
Emailed?
Yes. Or letter. Sent a letter.
Like,
not email.
What the fuck were they doing?
Fuck you. She sent her a letter and said... Basically, we all know about you and Bobby. You guys are the next new thing. We want you to come to Thanksgiving with him.
I did hear about letters.
Their sister sent Marilyn a letter saying that.
Also, let's just talk about okay, so Donald Trump released FBI files on the Kennedys, right? In 2017.
Yes.
And in there was a note about how Bobby Kennedy was sent mail or correspondence from the FBI, and they were warning him, like, hey, they're going to come out with this thing about you and Marilyn. Mm-hmm. Just so you know. Like, why would they have to, like, preface that with him? Why would they have to, like, tell him, like, just so you know, like, something's going to come out with you and Marilyn, like, do it. And he might have been, like, so fucking angry, because apparently he had an explosive temper, which could have ended in death, because that's what happens.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want that to happen. Like, not for him and his career. I mean, I can't imagine trying to like murder anybody for any reason, let alone my career. Yeah, you work really hard, but like, I mean, rebuild, man. Like, do something. You don't gotta kill.
I get that, but he had a lot to lose, and they're a very, very powerful fucking family.
Apparently,
The Kennedys.
yes.
So
I don't know. I want to say like, there's all this stuff that comes out. Like, they had a lot that was. He was gonna have a lot that came out against him. Like I said, I don't even think JFK was like the main ideal here.
no,
He was definitely not a player in her death, and
No,
I don't think Jackie was either. It was definitely going to be
it was Bobby or the
Bobby
mafia.
or, but who?
I know who.
Who? What do you think?
What did you say? Like
I didn't say anything because I don't even fucking know. Like, I can't even begin to be like, which one could it have been? Because everyone has very big plays here in this game, and it all could have gone so wrong. They were just like, haha, we're just doing this for fun. Oh shit, she's dead. Too far. Like, fucking just cover it up. Like, I can't even.
Do you want me to tell you what happened?
What you think happened?
No, what I know.
Oh my god. No, tell me what you think, and then we will. Tell me.
Listen.
Okay, let's go.
As much as me personally probably would want it to be the mafia who had her killed, it wasn't. It was not the mafia. Bobby Kennedy killed Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
He had the most to lose.
Well, yeah.
The mafia really didn't. The mafia aspect of it was they just wanted to get back at the Kennedys.
They wanted to spook them.
He wanted to spook them, get back at them, embarrass them, make him look like he was the bad guy.
Yeah, they probably didn't want to murder her.
No. Bobby Kennedy had the most to lose if Marilyn Monroe came out publicly with everything she knew.
No, yeah, that would have been bad.
So, like, I'm not gonna say I think. I know Bobby Kennedy was behind Marilyn Monroe's death, and so was Peter Lawford because he was there. And also, at Marilyn Monroe's funeral, do you know who set up her funeral?
Who?
Joe DiMaggio.
Oh.
Joe DiMaggio set up everything for Marilyn Monroe's funeral. Also, only allowed 30 people at the funeral. 30 personal close and personal friends of Monroe. Do you know who's left off that list?
Who?
Peter Lawford.
Fuck you, Lawford.
Peter Lawford made it known that he was very upset at the fact that Joe DiMaggio would not allow him at the funeral. Do you know why he left Peter Lawford off?
He was too emotional?
No.
Oh.
Up until DiMaggio's death, DiMaggio knew the Kennedys were behind her death. Joe DiMaggio's on record saying the Kennedys are the reason Marilyn Monroe is dead.
Yeah.
DiMaggio knows the truth. I know the truth. It was Bobby Kennedy. Peter Lawford was guilty by association. That's what it was. And we all know it.
Well,
so that's my aspect on it.
Yeah, I really...
So,
if you think about it, with the mob and their killings and whatever, like the murders that they do, Marilyn was probably such small fish in that kind of game they were trying to play.
Yes, because Kennedy had more to lose. Bobby had more to lose than the mafia did of Marilyn. Like, Marilyn wasn't going after the mafia.
No.
They were using her as a pawn to get to
Actually,
the Kennedys.
everyone said that there's a lot of rumors and stuff that they say that she was actually, a lot of people say she was planning a press conference.
Yes, the next day.
Yeah, the 6th.
Yes.
To try to, I don't know, some sort of safety net.
She was going to just
Yeah, but she
give
was
all the
gonna,
secrets.
She was going to do that as a safety net for herself because she was like, well, if it's out in the open, it's out in the mafia, you would think, like, I'll tell the press, and then if anything happens to me, they'll know. They'll know, like, if anything happens. But they got to her before it happened. Now, apparently, there was even an actor, Gianni Russell.
Russell?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They said that it was orchestrated by Bobby. That's what he said. It was like on his deathbed. Now, he played Carlo Rizzi in The Godfather. And it was...
I was going to say, it was rumored that he was with the mafia hitman that night.
Yeah. Apparently, like, he had, like, a photo of them together, like, in California, Nevada, like, border. And it was just, like, right before her death or whatever. And he said that the person who took the picture was Sam Giancana. But they were just doing it probably as like a bait, like, oh, we're friends with her. Look what we're going to do. Like, she's saying a lot of stuff. Like, she's really mad. And that they're saying that Bobby was the one who did it. Even the mob is saying that. Like, honestly, the mob, I feel like, would be like, they wouldn't even admit. They were just like, kill, kill, kill. And then the mob's coming out being like, yo, like, what's up? Like, it was this guy. It was this kid, this Cape Cod, like, fucking kid who did this, not us. But it's just, it's hard. It's hard. Like, I mean, I do believe that they probably...
So where do you stand with it? What do you believe?
That it was very, very sad.
Well, obviously. But
I don't know.
Who do you think...
Okay, so here's the
Clearly,
thing.
Monroe did not commit suicide.
Okay, well, no, here's the thing. Is, like, part of me, like, a very big part of me wants to be like, she has had drug issues. She has had issues where this has been a thing that she's done. And she's had sought help, medical help over it. She has tried to better herself from it. She has had to go detox from it. It was something she suffered from. It was getting to a point where it was very debilitating in her life. And all of that. But also, I think how they found her and the fact that the medical evidence is, like, all fucked up. Like, I mean, a suicide is a suicide. And the fact that they're just like, well, she had to have swallowed upwards of, like, 40 pills. And the fact they found none of that in her stomach. Part of me is just like, how are they saying they didn't find... Well, maybe they didn't find that many. But it's like, someone who takes these drugs regularly, I mean, you might find something. But they didn't find anything.
Or drinking water. I understand you're like, oh, I can take pills without water.
I do without them.
That's some supernatural shit.
No, it's not. It's the thing is when I was
I have to have water. I have to drink something to take a pill.
Well,
and for her to have to take 40 to 50 of these with nothing to swallow it down with, I don't believe it. I do not believe that.
I can take upwards of 4 at a time without water.
4. This is 40.
Not at one time. That's the thing is, I mean, even if she did it in separate increments, of course it would break down differently, right? At separate times. The only reason why that I know I can is because I had some kidney issues when I was younger, and I had to be on, like, I had to take like 6 or more pills a day for my kidney issues when I was younger. So, I mean, they were big ass pills. Some of them I was like, they're like a fucking horse pill. But you learn to just take them, you know, just take them and back them. Which is why I'm not saying like it's like a superpower. It's just that when you get used to taking pills.
No, that's a superpower.
No, you get used to taking pills. You're just like, eventually you are able to take a small amount of them and just take them without.
If you could take 40 pills...
Not 40.
I understand that, but
40.
in her case, to do that without water, that's a superhero power. Like,
I don't think she did, but she had to have something in her system.
But she didn't.
So she didn't eat or drink all day.
Oh, probably, but...
They had to find something.
But they didn't find these pills.
Not the pills. That's why I'm like... So some people were saying that like a doctor came up and like stabbed her either in the hip or in the heart or whatever. There's a mysterious bruise. The mysterious bruise.
Wait, there was something I forgot to touch on.
Oh, touch on it.
Real quick. I did read that the Dr. Greensburg, was that his name? Greenson. Dr. Greenson tried to give her a shot called a hot shot in the heart to try to like jumpstart her heart, bring her back. This is rumored after they found her when she died.
I've never heard of a hot shot being a good thing when it comes to drugs.
Well, that's what they called it.
Okay.
But apparently when he stabbed it in her, he didn't hit it and was like forcing it down, moving it around. I guess with all the force and stuff, broke her kidney.
Oh, like bones around
Yeah.
the kidney? There's
Broke her kidney, crushed her kidney, something. It then finally hit the heart and he injected it.
How do you get to the kidney from the heart?
I don't know. That's what I thought too.
That's not a thing. They're in two totally different spots of the body.
I know.
No.
But from what I read is he tried giving her a shot called a hot shot, trying to revive her heart.
I don't want that doctor.
I don't know. I guess he was moving around, broke her kidney, broke something. I don't know.
Look, your
But
kidney's down here, your
finally-
heart's up here.
Finally hit the spot, but like 2 minutes after, she died.
That's like a
So-
3-foot needle.
So, like, after I read that, it was rumored that did Bobby Kennedy ordered the doctor to do this, or was he trying to save her life but fucked up?
Look,
And
that doctor sounds dumb. Your kidney is
that
way...
was her doctor, who she also had the affair with.
Okay, look, your kidney's down here.
I know
Your
it
lower
is.
back.
I don't,
Heart's up right up here.
I don't know if
How
like it was
long
just
was
how
that
he
needle?
I don't know. Well, not that long to where it hit down, but
Both. He's just like, you know what? I'm going to skewer your whole body.
Well, I don't know if he got on top of her and was like stabbing her in the heart with the needle, but with him applying all the pressure, maybe
he
his
kneed her
body
in the
breaking
kidney?
the kidney, and with him breaking her kidney or something, giving her the shot, killed her. I don't know. It's just something I read.
Let's not believe that. That sounds weird.
I don't believe that at all. That's
No.
just something I read.
That's
I
two totally
straight up-
different parts.
Yeah, I straight up believe Bobby Kennedy killed her.
Okay,
Like,
let's stick with that because that was weird.
is that what you believe? Is that where we're ending this? Like,
That we think
I
Bobby
want to know what
Kennedy-
you think. What you truly believe.
I don't think the mob
I do
wanted
not
her
think
dead.
the mob killed her.
The mob's even coming out saying, like, why? She was a body girl. She partied a lot. She
Right.
fucked whoever. Give her whatever, she'll fuck you. Like, why
It's
would
very
we...
believable that the mob could have been behind it. Because the mafia aspect of it and Bobby Kennedy's aspect of it were very similar. Sorry. But
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
it's
do-
weird.
I don't believe the mafia did it.
I don't think this is something you
Bobby
can pin on the
Kennedy
mafia.
had way more to lose than the mafia. The
I don't-
mafia just wanted to get back at the Kennedys.
Yeah, it was more of a humiliation thing.
This would have ended his, like, publicly, if it came out, could have ended his marriage, his career. Bobby Kennedy had so much more to lose. So, in my heart, I 100% believe Bobby Kennedy killed Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. I'm going to say I'm going to kind of lean towards that way because I don't think the mob wanted to actually murder her. They
Then
were
what
just
other
like-
way would you lean? Suicide? Or suicide? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think? No.
No, I'm saying I'm leaning. I'm saying like both ways. Like I think if it was
I know, but I'm telling you you're wrong. Like, she did not commit suicide.
No. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that tells me like she didn't.
No.
And that maybe she got
didn't
mixed
commit
into something.
suicide.
There's
so.
something that said that Bobby maybe was just like, oh, they're gonna try to hold her over my head, and then I'm just gonna kill her before they can do anything. But not that the mob was actually gonna ever do anything. They were like,
No.
we're not actually gonna kill her. Like we like her. We just
Well, they probably
Anything.
would have.
if they had to. I think they would have.
Yeah.
If she had, like, their secrets. But she only had Bobby's.
She probably had mafia secrets, but...
Oh, you gotta be really dumb to try to be like, I'm gonna spill mafia
Exactly.
secrets. You gotta be dumb. And I don't think she was that dumb.
Because even if she had mafia secrets, the secrets she would have exposed of Bobby and JFK were much more worse than the mafia secrets.
Yeah, I don't think she was gonna go.
Like, the Kennedys had more to lose. Even though...
They did. Honestly,
I don't
did.
think JFK had anything to do with the murder. He
No.
knew about it. He knew.
I don't think he had anything to do with it.
But Bobby... It was all Bobby.
Everything I read is showing Bobby.
It was Bobby. For sure.
Nothing JFK did. I think maybe he was like her fling, it happened, and then she got all involved with Bobby, who apparently was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you, but guess what? I'm gonna kill you.
Well, he didn't tell her that.
No, but in his head, he was probably like...
Well, I don't think in his head either he was like, I'm gonna kill you. Not until after all this shit.
Yeah, but that's weird.
I probably feel like in his head he's like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you. This is it. I'm not leaving my wife. Like, bada bing, bada boom, 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 muffins. Like...
No, yeah,
But-
you know what?
And it
If she
ended
didn't kill her-
tragically.
yeah, for her it was God.
She-
That was so bad.
She was what, 36
She was definitely
when she died?
Yeah,
36, had a lot of, still a couple years left, you know.
She
Probably
did a lot of
many
time.
years, yeah. Like, when she died, her movies at the time had grossed 200 million. And in this day would be 2 billion. It was either 2 billion or 200 billion.
I remember you said that, and I
Yeah.
was just like, you were looking at something, and I was like, oh my God, she was
that's
like an
what I read.
Avengers movie.
Like, that's what I read.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's just like,
But I feel like
she just got her contract back.
Yeah.
She bought a house. She was like, yo, I'm doing my thing.
I don't think she
Here.
would have fought so hard to get her contract back with Fox and to get the movie, what was it, Something's Gotta Give, back if she was just gonna kill herself.
At the same time, people with depression do that.
They do, but but to get a new contract and to get more money and to get the movie back.
Like, maybe she thought her life was going in a great way. She's like, here I am, I'm living my
No.
life, it's great. And then guess what? Here comes Bobby Kennedy.
I get
like,
I get
I'm
what
gonna
you're
murder
saying.
you.
Like the whole suicide. I get like how they try to make their life better or whatever before they do it. Like,
They get really positive. I don't know.
I get that. You know, I get that.
I know.
But
I
I
know
don't
you
think
do.
that was it. I think she was trying to get her life back together, and she threatened the Kennedys to come out with this shit. She threatened the wrong family.
I don't know if she threatened them. I think
She
she
did.
felt threatened. I think she felt threatened.
She did,
And that's
but
why
she
she was-
also threatened them because she said she was going to come out. She had
As
a
in
she had a press conference scheduled to tell all these secrets.
Probably
she
is-
threatened them with this,
I feel
and
like
that's what got her killed.
I feel like that was she thought an insurance policy for her. I tell the press this, like if anything happens.
But that's
to
still
you,
a threat.
I guess.
No, straight up. If I come to you and be like, hey, I have all these secrets about you, I'm going to the press. Everyone needs to know. That is a threat.
I would be like,
And
damn.
they ended that threat by killing her and disposing of this little red book because it has never been found to this day.
It hasn't. Honestly, listen. Okay, sidetrack here. There was a private investigator who said that he was actually hired to look into these matters, and he said, like, yeah, this is what happened. Like, Bobby Kennedy killed her, like, all this stuff. And the mob was involved, but they actually didn't want to kill her, but then Bobby ended up killing her, so whatever. I want to say, God, I have it here, but apparently, like, but he died before any of this was substantiated, and honestly, like, there was a lot of holes in his thing. in like his story. But after he died, a file cabinet or whatever that he had all of this stuff in went missing and no one's ever found it. He was just like saying all this stuff and people were like, well, that's not really true and there's a lot of holes in the story, and he was just like, whatever. Basically, he was towards the end of his life, and then he passed away, and apparently his lawyers came in. They took one file cabinet out with all these documents in it that was just related to all this. Never came out. You would think that after that happens and one of the last people dies who knows what happens, they would just let it out. But it's like they didn't. Nobody was like, no. But it could have been because of political things like Bobby Kennedy, who was just like, no, like, don't disrupt, even if he's not here anymore, don't disrupt like his memory of things, or don't disrupt people's memory of him and what he did. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just, part of me is just like,
I feel like Bobby Kennedy wouldn't give a fuck about that.
I do not think that the mob had anything to do with
No.
her death. I think maybe they kind of toyed with the idea, but they weren't really going to do it, and that he acted way too soon because of that fear of anything coming out. And
For exposing everything.
Yeah. No, I definitely did. And so, yes, maybe that. But then also part of me is just like, God, her history with overdosing and having to put in hospitals for this kind of thing. Like, yeah, maybe that was a thing. But also, she got mixed up in some shit. And I don't know if I can completely excuse Bobby Kennedy from that. I am not including JFK in that because he had nothing. He was a very small, minor role in whatever happened.
He had his fun with Monroe. And
that was it.
That was it.
He was. Everybody thinks like, because everyone's always like, yeah, like she was trying to expose and she was in love with him and she was harassing the White House. And it was like, if she was going to the White House that much for stuff,
she was in love with JFK, but once Bobby came around,
he was hotter.
She fell more in love with Bobby.
Could have been, but so all the calls to the White House could have been to him and not JFK. I just feel like people drag him into it so much that he seems like the star of it, when really it's probably Bobby who was the one who was the main focus.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Bobby Kennedy was hotter and he was a little spicier. Obviously, he killed her.
Debatable.
He was hotter.
All right, whatever you say.
I love JFK. I thought he was hot too. I was like, way to go. You're hot. You like civil rights. So do I. This is amazing. But then you look at Bobby Kennedy and you're just like, ooh boy, you're way hot.
All right, so your final opinion on this was either Bobby killed her or she committed suicide. You're torn between the two?
Yeah, because obviously, okay. I'm like, Bobby, you're pretty hot, but you're probably crazy. That means you're crazy.
All right.
I mean,
that's what you believe, and I believe that it was Bobby Kennedy. She did not commit suicide.
Yeah, the witness testimonies really got me. The way that even neighbors who have no affiliation with the maid or anything were saying, like, yeah, no, I definitely saw that. That was Bobby Kennedy who went into that house. Mm-hmm. So I do definitely think that he was visiting her sometime during that time. And the White House has said, like, we know JFK where he was during that time, but we have no record of wherever Bobby was that night.
Which he was in California.
Exactly. And, oh God. Please, Bobby, no. Why'd you do this?
He's a douche.
The hot ones.
Was a douche. He did.
Yeah, he got assassinated as well. Also, if you think about it, everybody entangled in this, a lot of the main players, assassinated.
Yeah, naturally.
The main players were. Yeah. I mean, she was gone. JFK, even though he was minorly involved, he was probably assassinated for other reasons.
Government
got him.
We can get into that another time.
Another time.
I'm sure another episode on this show I will do the JFK assassination, because that is actually one of my favorite conspiracies.
Oh, it is. Yes.
I love the JFK assassination conspiracy.
He doesn't agree with the assassination. He just believes that he was assassinated for political reasons.
Oh, straight up.
Oh, he was.
For sure.
I believe it.
And I will get into that in a later episode. You guys will just have to follow, subscribe, and listen.
Keep listening.
So,
Okay.
Sabrina,
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
My beautiful wife.
I look like
My-
trash right near her, guys.
Better half. My love. Thank you for being my first episode.
Oh, thanks.
And I wanted you to be my first episode.
I know you.
You argued on me on it. You're like, you should have someone else as your first episode.
Like your best friends.
But
he's had a lot of interest in people who really want to do this. And
I've had a few people, yes. So we definitely have more episodes to come.
oh, there's a lot of things
In
to be
fact, our
discussed.
next episode is our friend Kari.
Oh, Kari. She
Kari
will be
Newman?
discussing aliens.
Aliens.
Alien.
Which I'm all about.
Y'all, she's got a lot of stuff to say about that.
So, but no. Thank you. I love you.
I love you.
And I think this episode was very good.
I think it was good.
So
I liked
hopefully
it.
we educated some people about Marilyn
There's a lot of
Monroe.
history. Yeah, there's a lot of
There
stuff.
is.
Y'all look into it. There's a lot of stuff. A lot. I mean, I couldn't even go into all of it because a lot of it was just fluff. Narrowing down the main points was like the hardest because I was like, oh my god, is this a point? Is this a point? Like, is this gonna come in later? And there's a lot. So just look into it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Being my first episode. So
All right.
I had
No,
fun.
I liked being.
Did you
I
have
liked
fun?
doing this. Oh, I had fun, guys. Of course you're gonna have fun. I mean, we're talking about conspiracies, and then, well, I'm really drunk, and honestly, y'all, I gotta pee. I'm not even gonna lie.
So, all right. Thank you, babe. I
Thanks.
love you. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you continue to listen. Try to build this podcast up. I'm trying to get it out there. You know, I just feel like it's an interesting show. You know.
I think it is good.
Yeah. So, thank you again.
Yep.
So, thank you everyone out there for listening. This is Drunk Conspiracies, and we will see you on the next episode.